Alright, what's up? It's Diablo King here, and it's Ola, and pretty much I've created the I've created the ultimate. Not I haven't created this. I found this on anime tier list. So it's anime 1900 plus anime tier list maker. So my plan is to rank every anime in this list, and of course that I've seen, and of course the ones I haven't seen, I won't rank. So this is my list, of course. So feel free to scrutinize, uh, be upset by, complain, and all that. But it's my list at the end of the day, and I will have some other people on to react to my list, see where I put things. But it doesn't necessarily mean I'm gonna change where I put them. So if you see me look over here, I got my OBS set up over here, so that's why I might look to the side. That's also why I'm looking a little blue. But let's get right into it. Maybe I should zoom in some more so we can see everything properly. So there we go. It's way better, but this ad thing is in the way. How do I get rid of this? Stop seeing this ad. Add cover content. Is it gonna go away now? Bruh, it's not going away. Let's try reloading. Alright, perfect. Alright, we can get to business. Yeah, I'm probably have to zoom out for when we're scrolling, but zoom in to show the anime names. Or I guess it's just a lot of anime. Yeah? My bad. Where's the sidebar? Yo, we're boom. Anyways, let's start. Okay, so I don't know, no clue what these are, but 86. I think this is a great start. Oh, and also our categories are peak, great, good, mid, dog shit, bad, dog shit, and haven't watched. So I feel like those are pretty decent categories. Now, what would be my criteria for each one? We'll just have to go as we get there. So again, this is my personal, so for everyone else it might be different. But 86, this one, peak. I watched this last year over I want to say the summer. So quick little review. Pretty much is about a group of people that they're considered less than human, and they have to fight on the front lines in this battlefield. It's I'd say it's kind of similar to Hunger Games, but instead of fighting each other, they have to fight this like strange army. So and also it's kind of a bit of romance, which usually I don't care for. I like the way that they did it here, which is almost like a subplot, but it's not really the main focus of what's actually going on. And the entire cast is pretty cool. It was a minute ago, so I have forgotten names, sadly. But, I saw a cool clip on Instagram where they were calling the guy in the center the Reaper. Let me try and zoom in. They were calling him the Reaper. So right there. So I just was like, interesting. That's a cool name. So usually the way I pick what the anime I'm gonna watch off of Instagram and off of social media, I just go off of what looks pretty cool. So this looked cool. It was actually a really good story. For like a little pitch, it's almost like a story about longing or reuniting, I should say, or uniting for the very first time, as well as fulfilling a promise. And of course, I'd say it's a mecha anime, mecha/military anime, where they're really fighting on the front lines, and it's also some sentiments of like living every day like it's your last, despite the fact that the next day might be your last. So just enjoying life, enjoying it with the people that that you share those days with. So it's really good. I really enjoyed 86. Next, Akame got killed. Ooh, that's the next one I've seen. So if y'all can see that right there. Now, I'm just gonna put this in good. See, cause hear me out. So when it comes to Akame got killed, I enjoyed watching it. I remember while I was watching it, I did a little funny thing where I counted how many times somebody or something died, and in the first like 3 seconds, something had already been killed. So it definitely lives up to its name. But I've said it in another review where I reviewed Failure Frame. I am honestly not a fan of death, right? In anime. So, not to say that it automatically makes something worse, but I'm not a fan of it. I'm also not to say that, like, oh, something like Dragon Ball Z means it's always better because they always bring the characters back. Like, because you get attached to a character, you want to see them succeed, you want to see them flourish, and then they get killed off. And it seemed like every time you got attached to a character, they ended up dying. So, personally, for me, you know, that could be a little bit of a turnoff. And then the one girl that was supposed to die that you were rooting for to get killed just refused to die over and over again. So that definitely pissed me off. This anime definitely made me more upset sometimes than it did hyper excited. And that's kind of like what my uh, criteria for peak is. It makes me feel some kind of emotional connection as opposed to just enjoying the story. Whether it's a little bit of sadness, a little bit of happiness, motivation, like really good excitement, like the kind of thing that actually just makes you like get up out of your seat or exclaim to yourself out loud or to other people, like the kind of show that you're watching and as you're watching you're like, hey yo, y'all gotta watch this, as opposed to I really enjoyed that. So Thinking About Got Kill, I wouldn't say I wouldn't stop someone from watching it, but I wouldn't recommend it because it's also the ending is also kind of meh, because the kind of ending, spoilers. Also, I guess yeah, spoilers for this entire video. Yeah, whenever I do these reviews, definitely spoilers, or I'm gonna say spoilers, and then you can jump to when I'm done talking about this. But and I guess you can jump to when you'll see me move on to the next item. But everyone dies, as the name suggests. Everyone just dies. So only person left is Akume. So I'm just like, bruh. I feel like an ending like that almost defeats the entire purpose of the entire journey. Because I know I like to say that, it's not the journey, it's the destination. Or it's not the destination, it's the journey. But sometimes the destination can ruin the journey. Like, if everyone just dies, then it's like, what was the point of doing everything y'all fought for? There was no point. Y'all were better off just living your lives the way they were, as before you even started, because you didn't succeed. So, anyways, I'll move on from that. I still put it in good. I still like complaining about it, but it's a good anime. Like I enjoyed watching it. I enjoyed their the power system, their powers, the fights. It's been a minute. I've watched it like middle school, but yeah, just I'm not a fan of the and everyone dies at the end. All right. Next one. I actually have not seen Akira. But I personally feel Akira is overhyped up, bro. I don't like anime movies. This is like a weird take that I have. I don't like anime movies. I'm just fucking with y'all. I'm not gonna put it there. But I'm not a fan of anime movies because I feel like one of the things about anime is that you get to be with them for a long time as opposed to just an hour or 2 hours. So over 2 hours be like, if every episode is 20 minutes, that'd be three. So only 6 episodes. Imagine watching a 6 episode anime. Like that's not enough, bro. Or imagine a 6 episode anime and it's supposed to be 12 episodes. You're gonna be like that's only halfway through. So I don't feel like it's enough time, especially for anime. Like I wanted to really dive deeper and get to know these characters more. Not to say that movies can't do it, but I don't even like watching normal movies because I think they're too short. I prefer movies that are 3 hours long and so on. So yeah, I prefer my epics and my Bollywood movies. But that's what we got so far. But yeah, I didn't put it in mid. I was just joking around. I haven't seen it, but I don't intend to watch it, so it's probably never gonna move. Honestly, it's one of those things that like you've seen it so often or so talked about or referenced so many times that you really just don't. There's no will to watch it because what's the point? It's almost like what? I don't even know. Like it's just you learn so much about it in passing by just being in the anime community that you never ever feel an express need to watch it. I mean, I'm down to watch movies with people, but I'm definitely not like gonna go out of my way to watch it. So if ever someone's like, "Oh, let's watch Akira," I'm not gonna be like, "No, I don't watch Akira." Also, I love the memes, Akira, but I'm not gonna watch it on my own volition. But next one, Assassination Classroom. Is this peak? Assassination, is this peak? I feel like it's not quite peak. Like, is it? Okay, look, I watched Assassination Classroom again in middle school. I really enjoyed it. What would I liken it to? Honestly, there's nothing that comes to mind as of right now what I liken it to. But I like the concept. Pretty much, Koro Sensei, he is the teacher for this class, and not only is he the teacher for the class, but the class, their assignment is to also kill him. So he's a super cool teacher, and he can move super fast, and he gets to lots of hijinks. It's low key a comedy slash like actual school anime. Oh shit, there was something I wanted to do alongside this. I wanted to create my spreadsheet, or I have a spreadsheet where I rank not rank every anime, but label every anime with all of their plot devices and stuff. So I can have like the ultimate anime list. But I think I'm just gonna scrap that because it got really convoluted as I actually started to put it into practice. But yeah, so he's super fast, super strong, and he's a teacher. So he teaches them, and they grow a connection. But they're also trying to kill him the entire time as well. So I actually really enjoyed it. I like they also got like little tests. So I honestly say it's very similar to Classroom of the Elite in the sense that they're not just there to learn necessarily. They're almost there to be tested on every aspect of their life. So students that excel in like with physical capabilities get the time to shine. And of course the students that are both smart and physically capable also get that time to shine, but they get like they get taught on like assassination techniques, like how to be stronger, like physical training and all that stuff. There's like an ending and there's an epilogue. I kind of like the epilogue, but being who I am, I like to see my main characters flourish and get stronger, especially in a shonen. Like, Koro-san, like this is the shonen, and the fact that the main character doesn't really, I don't think this is. I haven't said what the main character is, so it's not a spoiler too much. But I guess spoilers here. But I want my main characters to like become strong, especially in a setting like this where they were being trained to be assassins. So I want my main character to like maybe become the best assassin, but instead of that, he just becomes a teacher, which is cool. But the entire time leading up is like, oh, he has crazy potential. Like he could really do this. He could really be an assassin. Like he'd be great at this. And I'm like, okay, bet this is definitely what it's leading up to. And bro just becomes a regular ass teacher. He didn't even choose to do both. So definitely fell off for me. Not fell off, but like, yeah, I still think it's great though. And it was definitely pretty emotional too. I enjoyed it, but not quite peak. Not quite peak. Ooh, Attack on Titans. Okay. Now, I hate to do this to y'all, but I gotta put it in great. Here's why. First off, I didn't really watch the anime, but I read the manga. So, it gives me a little bit more of an experience, and also I've had more time to really digest the ending. And honestly, spoilers again, I mean, everyone knows Attack on Titans at this point. You probably haven't finished it, but you've probably seen the ending in some kind of regard. And honestly, the ending was rushed and didn't quite make sense, and there were some plot holes left. Cause why was Eren losing all his aura in the end, bro? Like, I understand that he's not even a kid. He's like a young adult, and this was the plan that he put out. Now the writing for this is fire. Like, the time loop, like everything leading up to the ending, straight fire, like straight heat. But it's almost as if the author wrote himself into a corner. The ending was expected, like Eren would have to die, but they didn't have to make him like fumble in the end for him to die. And even his plan in the end didn't work. Like It's kind of like what I was mentioning about the good or about Kill la Kill is that when you do something and it was pointless. What was the point of him doing all that, starting the rumbling, just for just for uh, just for the people of Paradise Island just to once again be seen as devils and for the war to continue? There was no peace. Maybe they're seen as heroes for a period, but it was all forgotten about. And even there was no need to show the fact that the wars continued. I feel like it's also the reality situation that war. There's a quote that war never changes. But there's also another quote. War never, or not another quote, but a quote that I'm gonna put out now. War never stops. So, the fact that Aaron thought he could stop it and free his people from, I guess the labels and the shackles was, you know, not naive, but a very big stretch. And the way he went about doing it by villainizing himself, it wasn't, you know, just wasn't it. But writing's fire. I want to put it in peak, but I feel like the ending is just as important for how you how you how you go through a story, especially if a story gets an ending. I don't think not getting an ending ruins the story, but having a bad ending can not ruin, but it affects it from reaching its full potential. Let me say that. So the next one, I haven't seen any of these. I definitely gotta watch a lot of these though. They're on my list. I haven't seen Beastars. Oh yeah, I'm not good. So for haven't seen, I'm just gonna put the ones that I know about, but I haven't watched them. So Beastars, haven't seen. That's just some furry shit. I'm playing. One of my homies, he's watched it and he actually really rocks with it. So, I guess my haven't seen will be like the ones that I'm likely to watch with the proper push. But that's really about it. So, next would be Berserk. I haven't watched it, but I have read it, especially for this arc. So I've read all of the original '90s anime. So I think I've seen the clips for the anime as well. So it's not gonna be too different. If y'all feel like I shouldn't rank the anime based on the manga, go ahead and tell me that. 'Cause I know sometimes they are pretty different. But if you've seen, I think I've seen enough of the anime through clips, and then it's pretty consistent with the manga that I can rank it based off of that. If that makes sense, because I don't really review things based off of like dubbing or music unless the music and dubbing was so good that I actually am putting it um, in my list. But honestly, I just put it in good. Like, not to say this isn't a dog on. I'm not just being controversial or doing rage bait, but but the way I feel about Berserk is that it's kind of, or really a lot of saying whatever however you pronounce it, is that it's it's a lot of like very provocative things, but you know, and it puts your head into like a weird space, but it doesn't necessarily always, you know, how how do I put this? Sometimes it's edgy for being just for the sake of being edgy. Not to say that there's not a good story going on as well, but a lot of the same story can be told without as much like cruelty, violence, and all this other stuff. Not to say that makes it worse. It's just not needed. And me personally, I do enjoy a story that, you know, I do enjoy a story that is like kind of happy. I know that some people don't see things that way, that they enjoy like stories that are like brutal, but I prefer stories that are happy. Like, is that so weird? And some people are like, oh, you're a kid. Like, you need everything to have a happy ending. Like, I honestly don't care because, you know, if you're going to consume stuff, right, it should be the kind of stuff that you prefer, one. So watch what you want. Don't watch things you don't like. I just I don't like it. I still put it in good, but it's just to say that I think this can be good despite them not being your tastes. But if they're not to your taste, they're not gonna be like amazing. Obviously, like I said, this is my list, so this is by no means supposed to be objective. But and also another point to Berserk is like I haven't finished the manga or up to the point where it's at. Like, if it was that good to me, which I'm not saying it isn't, but if it was that good to me, I would have been caught up. Like, that's just how it is. Like, it's cool. I like the art. Art is amazing. Even the animation in this older version, like I know the colors and it's a really good adaptation. Like the colors and the music, very very good. But just it's just not my cup of tea for real, honestly. Like, I wouldn't say it's too much for me to handle. It's just, it doesn't get me going like that. I know some people that they love the edgy stuff, just for the even edgy stuff for the pure sake of it. I do want to say that it still give it its props as in terms of having like a good story and having a good message in terms of some of my favorite moments were the parts of levity when there wasn't such a struggle, because I think that's what I kind of like. I think that's probably what sums me up the best. I want a payoff for the struggle. So you kind of heard me say it with the anime that got bad endings, is that they didn't have a payoff for the struggle. I want the struggle to have a payoff, and the times when there was levity in One Piece, or not One Piece, in Berserk, then I was happy about that. But the constant like lack of it can wear you down, even while reading. So I'm sure some of you have experienced it. Like you've probably been reading and then you gotta like, I don't know, take a break because it's just like, damn, like this shit's kind of heavy. So I'd like to have something that I can enjoy the entire way through. Not to say that it's like, okay, here's an idea. It's like the difference between a nice walk and then try and run 5 miles, right? I can run 5 miles, right? That's easy. I can run 5 miles any day. But a nice walk sometimes is going to be better, bro. Because, you can relax, you can talk. Every now and then, a 5 mile run will be more enjoyable. It might be more fulfilling. But you're going to be hurting all the way through, and it might be challenging for you to finish. But if you tell me to walk, like, for that same amount of time, bro, like, I'm chilling. So, maybe that's not the best analogy, but that's one I can come up with off the top of my head. But I still put it in good, so nobody castrate me or anything like that. What else? Black Butler. Okay, so this, I'm honestly gonna put Black Butler in mid. Now, what I will say, fire openings, bro. Like it had the gases openings, but I really cannot tell you what Black Butler was about. I know it's about a dude. He made a contract with his butler, who's a demon. Pretty sure. I mean, I also watched it back in middle school, so that might also be a part of it. But I can't really tell you what it's about. And they're like investigators, or they do stuff for the crown to like solve mysteries and whatnot. And honestly, just can't remember what it's really about. They solve mysteries. They fight like other somewhat supernatural beings. And I just remember like, and they had like a couple seasons. I couldn't even remember how each of the seasons connected to each other. Cause I was sure at one point, there was instances when, I lost my train of thought when I clicked out of that. But yeah, I'm gonna put that in mid. Cause I watched it, I can't remember anything. Black Clover, peak. See, I already explained where I stand, right? So, nobody come at me. But this is such a great. See, I'm a simple man. I've expressed my ability to enjoy the finer things in life, right? So, for me, a really good peanut butter sandwich might be just what I need for the day. You know, not to say I can't enjoy a steak, like, and not to say a steak isn't better, but if I get a peanut butter sandwich, that might go above a lot of your favorite meals for me, and that's okay. When it comes to Black Clover, this is this is just what I call a classic shonen. So, or this is what I refer to as a classic shonen. I don't know if anyone else has used this term or has a similar term for it. It's just an MC with a goal, has to get stronger, becomes the strongest, achieves goal. That's it. Simple. And it's a masterpiece. Absolute cinema. And, each series does this a little bit differently. So it's not always executed the best. That's why we have thousands, even millions? I don't know. That's why we have thousands of shonens, but not all of them reach these heights. But Black Clover, for me, it does that. Especially the openings went hard. The themes of friendship, uh, the the combo attacks, like when they would work together. I used to watch a YouTuber called Nux Taku, and it said that Black Clover is the best example of the power of friendship or the power of love because they're able to actually combine their magical power together through trust and faith in each other's abilities to be able to fight opponents that they probably could have challenged on their own. So at one point, there are three individuals. There's Vanessa, there's, was it Real? Can't remember his name. And there's Asta. So, not Real. I can't remember his name. But this dude who has portal magic. So they're fighting this dude who's a lot stronger and he's a lot stronger and a lot faster than they are. And Vanessa has string magic. So what they have to do, and also I think she has a type of clairvoyance, if I can't remember correctly. I watched this back in high school. So, damn, almost 4 or 5 years ago. But pretty much, and Asta was the one leading the brunt of the attacks. So what they would do is Vanessa used her string magic to pull through the other guy's portals. I think it was Real, and those portals would then lead Asta to be allowed to attack the enemy, right? And he would be connected through the string, and he'd be pulled through the portals. And he didn't have to move himself, but the string did the moving for him, along with the portals. He had to completely trust his friends to allow him to maneuver around this battlefield and not get cooked by the enemy. Because honestly, one shot or one or two shots, and he would have been done. Or I think he was on the verge of his limits, and he really couldn't move his body anymore, something like that. So to be able to rely on your allies to the point that it strengthens you, that's the real power of friendship. I like the one you see in Fairy Tale, where they just oh, I love you, and then they solo everybody. So I think this is a really good way. Also, this is a good message. Working hard no matter what. Asta is one of the best MCs because he just has an amazing personality. He's really positive. Some people would say his positivity is almost toxic, but I don't believe in such a thing. He's super positive, even to the point in the show where it seemed he lost the one thing that he could do, one thing he's good at, because everyone at this point knows that Asta uses magic, is magicless, so he fights with his swords that counter magic. But at one point, it seems like he lost the one thing that he could do, and he still kept his head up. He still decided that I lost this one thing I can do. I'll find another way, in some kind of way. And in that moment, his friends had seen him almost struggling, and then deciding to overcome his struggle while watching in the distance. He has no idea that they're there, but he's addressing this almost to himself out loud to encourage himself. So I feel there's just lots of reasons why I feel Black Clover is peak. There's definitely heat. So I believe it definitely belongs there. I guess that's also a good part of it. Things I can see a discernible message from are peak. 86 would be fighting despite fighting despite the odds against you. the not just the odds against you in terms of the battles, but the odds against you in terms of your stance, your view, like being like a lower, lesser class, and fighting and hoping to see someone that you truly care about. And then Black Clover, of course, push past your limits, never giving up. It's like the same cliche shonen stuff, but as much as it's cliche, it resonates with me so much to such an extent that, you know, if they do it right, it's gonna be the best thing I can possibly consume for the most part. There'll always be some things that just kind of edge it out just a little bit more, but you'll be seeing some more just like this soon as they pop up. Let's go. Okay, next one. I spent a minute on that one. Next one is Black Lagoon. I actually like Lagoon a lot. I'm gonna put this in good. So this is like this is another anime I watched for the first time, probably in middle school. Super dark. Not super dark. Just dark. Oh no, wait, super dark. Yeah, there was some crazy shit that happened in this. Maybe I need to rewatch it because I'm sure I didn't fully understand everything at the time, but I think I understood it enough. I like the dynamic between Rock and crap. I know her name. Dang, no way I'm selling like that, bro. Well, I'm pretty sure I know their dynamic. Their dynamic was pretty good. And then Remy. Yeah, Remy. Okay, so Rock and Remy. The fights were pretty cool. It's just I can't remember what they were doing. Like, if I remember correctly, it was probably just them, taking missions and surviving. But I can't remember what their overarching goals were. Of course, not that always matters. There doesn't always have to be some cohesive, grand story. Sometimes you can just kind of enjoy the adventure. That's kind of how I see it a lot of times. I am along for the adventure, getting to know these characters. It doesn't have to be some kind of culminating event. So let's say that you get watch an anime and there's not a second season to build on things that you had seen. I feel like that's perfectly fine. There doesn't have to be a second season for me to say this was amazing. I really enjoyed this. I would prefer it not because I necessarily want closure. I do believe some things require closure, like Berserk. We're still waiting for Guts to kill Griffith, bro. Anything else in the ending, I'm not accepting that. And then, like I said, in this one, it was two people finally reuniting, or whatever, as opposed to them defeating the enemies that they were fighting, which was also a part of it, but not necessarily what I really wanted to see, if that makes sense. So I'm just saying that a show doesn't necessarily have to always have that there. Like with Koro Sensei and Assassination Classroom, it was pretty similar. Like if they just kept on training, kept on learning, kept on growing, that would have been fine. But they chose to have a culminating event, which allowed the story to end. And depending on what the culminating event is, I guess I could spoil it. Koro Sensei dies, so and that's pretty emotional, and it's a way to end the series, and it worked well as well. So I'm not knocking the ending at all. But if they had just continued just on their merry way, that's perfectly fine. Like a lot of comedy anime, they don't necessarily have some kind of ending. They just wrap it up one day, like thanks for watching type shit. So I think Psyche K is an example of that, where literally they just reset the world every time, so they could continue making more and more. So I don't really mind that. So when I said I can't remember what their goals were, it's not a problem. But really cool action, really nice fights, really cool characters. Remy's one of top 10 anime shoddy badasses. But yeah, super cool. And that picture just goes hard, bro. Like, come on now. She really got the blick. All right, what's next? Bleach. I'll put this in great, bro. Not because. Oh, should I order these as well? I guess I should, huh? I guess I should. So I'll put this there. What should I put? I can make arcade mid. Nah, I think y'all would kill me for that a little too much. I did enjoy it. I enjoyed the journey along the way. Definitely more than I did for Black Clover. I mean, Black Butler. Just, because I remember watching this half asleep and just kind of being confused. But I did enjoy this and get to know each character before they died and got murked, of course. So, I think I'll order it this way. Because not that I don't enjoy Bleach. Bleach is honestly one of my favorite anime. And for a bit, I do have to be a little bit objective. Bleach is not peak for me. For even though it meets a lot of criteria I was talking about, and also I read the manga again. I didn't watch the anime, so I'm aware of the ending. First off, because the ending was a little bit confusing. I wasn't a big fan of the Fullbring arc as well, where it kind of had that stuff going on. And then you could even say that there's a little bit of repetition with the. I mean, these are. I wouldn't say those are things I really hold against Bleach. I think I just think it's great. Like, there's nothing knocking it. It has never worked its way to peak for me, and that's okay. Like, I really enjoyed Bleach. It's hard to recount it because I've been watching it and / reading it since like elementary school. So the fights were amazing. I love the fights. I love the characters. Bleach is just a major part of my life. Aizen, Kenpachi, Zaraki, Ichigo. Man, there's nothing I can explain to why it's not. There's nothing I can explain that takes away from it, keeping it from being peak. But I just know that there's not enough. I guess that's the way to put it. It's like you're taking a test, and it's not that you got any answers wrong, but you just left those questions blank. So you only gave yourself the ability to earn that many points. Like if you got 10 questions on the test and you only answer 8 of them and you get them all correct, there's no way you could have gotten 100. Like you just didn't have the right amount. You just didn't have enough answers on the paper. You didn't have enough good. You didn't have enough correct. But you didn't have anything really bad either. Like I can't really talk shit on Bleach. Like I can't really say, that there are things I disliked about it. Like for me, I'll say that most things fall into good, and then things take away or add to them, right? So I'm not the kind of person who says, things, because even mid now is seen at more so as negative. So good is usually like a standard, like to be fair. Good is like a standard, and then mid. When things start getting mid, there's things you take away, and then as things get great, there's things that you add. These two are here because I enjoyed them, but they didn't have any like positive emotional resonance with me. Well, these did. I remember reading Attack on Titan I think released month after month, just trying to figure out what was going on, what was in the basement, what was Aaron's dad cooking up, like how are they gonna solve this situation? Going from these people are so underpowered or so at odds with what they're facing, or not at odds, but are so unable to match what they're facing, to okay, these people actually have a chance. They can actually solve this. They can actually figure things out. And then learning the truth, the twist, that was crazy. It was a whole ride. This similar thing. For Bleach, it's honestly mostly just nostalgia and really cool fights that I really liked. And of course, really fire music. But that's not gonna put it above the actual feelings that these made me elicit. So, and of course this stays here because the feelings it made me elicit were not good ones. So that's all I'll say. Blue Exorcist. This falls in a similar place, man. I think I'd put it above. It starts off pretty cool. The concept is really cool. But a lot of things in it were kind of whatever. The fellow students, I can't remember most of them. They were kind of mid, and even this female, I remember her being not annoying, but maybe useless. I can't remember. I watched this in middle school as well. This brother, bro, even for how did he hate on him for being the son of and they're brothers, not just brothers. Aren't they twins too? So, and in the end, bro had the powers as well. So the entire beef he had with him, and he was like, "Oh, I was doing it to protect you," or he blamed him for his father's death, or something like that. Maybe that's the most legitimate reason, because he blamed him for his father's death. But still, they're the same. They're the same. There's no difference between them. So I just thought it was weird. But again, this, I can't remember anything about it. New seasons have dropped. I've not bothered to watch them. This means that I really just didn't care. No really emotional resonance. This is what I'm talking about when there's the difference between this is between this. Because really, they're really similar concepts. I'm going to become the strongest and defeat saying I'm going to become the strongest and lead the nation. Like, loud, boisterous, strong-headed individual wants to become the strongest and protect everyone or save everyone, be respected by everyone. And this just wasn't it for me, honestly. Like, when you enjoy something, you go out of your way to seek more of it. Like, I remember with Attack on Titans, I would read the spin-offs. So I remember I read Attack on Titans, can't remember what it's called. I think there was two. One was about Levi and his backstory with his people and his like squad. So Levi joining the Survey Corps and joining the military in general. So you should check it out if you haven't heard about it or seen it. But it gives like a full backstory on Levi and like how he came up and all the friends he had on the come up. And then also I read another one which was before they invented the 3D maneuver gear and they had the blades, but I think it was called Attack on Titans, Son of the Titan, and it was from a dude whose mother was like in the cult that like worshipped the Titans as like deities. So I think that she died, but I don't know if she died and he was still born, and they started saying that he was like the child of a Titan. So it was really cool. And then he joined the Survey Corps, or the early Survey Corps as well. And lots of stuff. Like I sought out more information or more stuff about Attack on Titans. Because it released monthly. I just wanted my questions answered. I wanted to know. But if there's literally new seasons for this and I'm not watching them, that's just proof that like I just don't care. I even say, hold on, I made that mistake. Even for this, at least for this, I watched everything that I could for this. This one's not the case. And this one had fire openings. So, yeah. Alright, what's next? Blue Lock. I'd say Blue Lock is peak, or not peak, but great. I like Blue Lock a lot. I'm not gonna put it over Bleach. But I like it a lot. Sports anime. I haven't finished all of it, but I've enjoyed it, and it's pretty cool. Me putting Blue Lock over Berserk, absolutely. Like that shit's hype, bro. Like, what else can I tell you? It's that simple. I'm watching this. And I'm getting hyped. Amazing. I haven't finished it though, so. Like, don't kill me on that. But I do rocks with it. Good animation as well, at least for season 1. And I like the concept of an egoist. I like the entire idea. Like, we're putting you here because we want to find who is the best, and the best of you is the one who is the most selfish, the one who's the most egotistical. The one it's like a lot of concepts that come from like I want to say Dragon Ball, not come from Dragon Ball, but remind me of Dragon Ball. Like, where is your Saiyan pride? Like, shit like that. That lights a little spark in my heart. So, I rock with that. So, even my friends now will, like, joke with each other. And we'll say, like, oh, you gotta be an egoist, man. You gotta do this, like whenever we're trying to pop off in like some kind of sporting event or anything like that. What is this? I can't tell what that is. But Bunga Stray Dogs, sheesh, this might be. Is this peak? Bunga Stray Dogs peak, bro. I mean, let me really think about this. Cause I really enjoy it. It's really hype. Now, the way I order these doesn't show like how much I love them, right? Because I'd say Bleach, for just my personal affection, would be number one right now. But so if I put Bungie Stray Dogs above something like Bleach or Attack on Titans, doesn't mean I necessarily like it more. But I think it's like I'm trying to both be objective, but also by objectively ranking how I feel about it without just my personal connection. I'm ranking like my experience watching it without like the nostalgia. I don't think Bungo Stray Dogs quite makes the peak because it did lack some of those emotional elements that I spoke about. But it's definitely great. Like it's really amazing. Like is it peak? I think it might be peak, bro. I'm just remembering the latest season and how they like actually solved all the matters, and some of the abilities are super cool. Dang, and it hasn't ended yet. Because the only reason I put, because honestly, Attack on Titan should be peak, but it's the ending that's preventing it from being peak. And then, of course, Assassination Classroom doesn't quite get to peak either. And if it had the right epilogue, maybe it would. It's a similar case with Bleach that it just doesn't have enough to make me put it in peak. And for Bleach, I just like it more than Blue Lock. So I think I'm putting Bungo Stray Dogs in peak, unless they do something that fucks it up. Like I think I gotta put it there, but it's probably on the lower end. Like I like Black Clover and enjoyed watching it a lot more than I did for Bungo Stray Dogs, but at the same time, I really enjoyed watching it. Especially the first and like the second season. This is definitely a spoiler. So one of the characters, his ability is to literally just use money. So his power is attached to his power is attached to his wealth. So he like shreds his wealth to become stronger. So the more money he has, the more power he can have. So in the first season, he was the final boss, and pretty much he went bankrupt, like getting jumped. So the fights are also awesome, and it's another example of the power of friendship working together, because people like combine their abilities together, and also Dazai, the big brain, man, this is P. Why did I even question this? Oh man, there's lots of big brain strategies going on. Like you would think that wouldn't be the case in a superpowered anime. There's lots of cool stuff, cool uses, different abilities, lots of misdirection, lots of mysteries, lots of what is it called? Subversion of expectations. Like you think this happened, but actually this happened, and it was probably part of this plan, but Psych X was part of this plan. It's hard to really talk about this because I don't have notes from when I was watching it, because there's just so much stuff, and I binged it. So it's a lot easier to talk about instances from like Black Clover than this, where I watched like 4 seasons of it, and it just remember it flashing all cool in my mind. But like I said, the instance where it was super rich, I didn't even finish that. He was the main bad guy. Not them. I'm just talking in general. He was the main bad guy. He goes super rich. He lost all his money in the fight, but then his secretary found him and was like, "Sir, we gotta come back." He was like, "All right." He was like in Brazil or something, in the favelas, being destitute. So he was like, so she came and convinced him to like restart the company. So pretty much, bro, like flips like a coin into being a millionaire again. So I just thought that was super cool. Like in the middle of this anime about supernatural detectives, we get like it's like one of those YouTube videos where it's like, watch me turn $100 into $1 million in the course of 90 days. and like you're watching bro go from rags to riches right in front of your eyes. So I thought that was pretty cool. It's just one of the moments. So if that one doesn't quite interest you, it just really sat well with me. So it got me really hyped. To next, Chainsaw Man. Honestly, I can't really put Chainsaw Man as peak, bro. Like, I guess I put it in great, cause it's not really an emotional connection for me. Like when I read the manga, I enjoyed it. It was funny, but it wasn't nothing crazy. But the anime did such a great job. Probably one of the best adaptations of anime there is. Um, because it's just what they were able to do with the show by just giving it crazy animation. So I see animation carries. The story is pretty cool, but it is pretty nice, but just not peak. Cause I don't think it gets me hype and stuff. But I don't think there's, and it's really fun. That's why I'd describe it. The opening, the events, it's all very fun, but it's not quite peak because it hasn't, at least not yet, as far as I've gone into it. It hasn't had any like places that are either really cool or emotional, I should say. So yeah, hasn't had really places that resonated with me quite like other spots. Charlotte. Honestly, this shit is gas. Like, it might sound crazy, but I think this is actually a pretty great show. So it starts off like, I guess I can also provide quick summaries. I guess I haven't really been doing that. I've kind of just been assuming people have watched these things. But I think for the most part, these are known, except for maybe Charlotte and maybe 86. So I kind of gave us something for 86, kind of. For Charlotte, pretty much, I think, if I remember correctly, people awaken powers, or people in this group awaken powers, and it's almost like a slice of life. But then it makes a quick turn towards like the midpoint where they're trying to eliminate all the powers from the world because of whatever instance. So, but one of the characters, I won't say who, he takes it upon himself to kind of like go on a solo mission because his power is to take other people's powers. So it honestly becomes super serious, like gets really action packed, and bro's just traveling the world, collecting every single ability so that he can get rid of them, and he kind of makes a sacrifice for that. And there's also a little bit of romance too. So I actually really enjoyed it. Like the first half is almost like, this is an instance. So I've given an instance of stories don't necessarily. I've given an instance of stories don't necessarily have to have an ending, right? Or I've said that, not necessarily given an instance. Then I've said that an ending can ruin somewhat of what's happened beforehand. And now I'm giving an instance that the ending can be so good that it elevates everything else. Because otherwise, this would probably just be good. Good to mid. Like, because in this context, mid is kind of bad. So not to say mid is, oh, it's a 5 out of 10 stars. In this case, mid is kind of bad. Because if you want to go to a restaurant, you're probably not going to go to a restaurant that's 5 out of 10 stars. You probably go to a restaurant that is like 6 or 7. So mid is kind of bad in this context. So good is like the middle point, which would be 6 or 7 stars, or 6.5. So, and then from here we get 7 to 8. Here we get like 9 to 10. So I hope that kind of gives some more insight into what I'm saying. But yeah, Charlotte, I think it goes here because, like what I said, the ending is really nice. And that part really resonated with me as well. I don't put it over Chainsaw Man because, you can do enough right the entire time. That doesn't exclude this. And also, Blue Lock isn't too high for me for great because, like I said, I haven't finished all of it. So if I haven't finished all of it, that means I'm not compelled to. Part of it probably is because it's new-ish, and I see so much about it that I'm not as compelled to delve into it. But that's about it. What's next? Classroom of the Elite peak. Oh my gosh. I don't feel like enough people have seen Classroom of the Elite. Nah, the 86. Okay. All the stuff I was saying about Bunga Stray Dogs with the big brain. Classroom Elite is amazing. Great. It might even be above 86. Just because of the twist, the plot points, the big brain strategy. The animation is not the best, but the big brain strategy and thought processes have me jumping out of my seat on a regular basis, right? And just super invested. I'm still waiting for this new season to drop, bro. Like, it's not. I would say there probably isn't as much emotional elements into it. 86 definitely takes it when you say that. But if you ask me which one I enjoy watching more, or if I can get another season, which one I want more of, I'm asking you for Classroom of the Elite, like 5 times out of the business week, bro. Like, and that's freaking every day. Like, man, this is one of the ones that I want to jump into the manga for, but I haven't because I just feel like I have to watch it. I jumped into the manga for Black Clover and for Attack on Titans. I just say that they're worse because I did that, but I'm almost like building up anticipation and withdrawals and like thirst for Classroom of the Elite just because I want to see what they're cooking up. But Classroom of the Elite is peak, bro. A lot of y'all need to watch it. That's why I don't want to dive too much into what goes on. But like I said, similar to Assassination Classroom, they're in these classes and they're not just there to study and learn. They're there to become the very best. So they're put through scenarios that are not just tests, but they're almost like survival games or capability gauges in different aspects. So it's peak for sure. Peak for sure. All right. What's next? Yes. Code Geass, peak. Do I have to explain that? Just a lot of everything I've mentioned, minus like probably like the motivational stuff, but lots of that, lots of that. Not lots of that, but lots of all the other stuff I mentioned, like the big brain strategies, the emotion, the drive, the character wanting to accomplish something and putting forward an effort to do it. It just isn't the same as the motivational. It's more so like by pure force of will and by character of this person, one person, is able to enact change on the entire world. And that's something amazing to watch. Using his powers and his brain to do so, and also finding out the mysteries and learning about the world and the laws of everything that governs it. But I'm also saying, bro, get done in, So I think that definitely belongs there. I don't think many people are arguing with that. Cowboy Bebop. See, niggas probably want me to put this here. I don't blame them for thinking that. But I'm not putting it there, bro. Like, cause for me, I enjoyed it. It was great. Enjoyed the music. Enjoyed the show. It was a nice little ride. But it wasn't all that crazy. I mean, okay, let's not say it wasn't all that crazy, but this didn't resonate with me like these did. And the ones that did resonate with me more, or have resonated with me more, aren't up there. You know what I'm saying? Because of the ones I've had since I was legit, this is probably the only one that goes in great while all the others go in peak. I don't care what you say. Dragon Ball, Naruto, One Piece are going in peak. This sits here because I think this is where it belongs. It is great. And it would be peak if that epilogue was a little bit better. And if the ending was better, it would be peak as well. But Cowboy Bebop, it's in the upper end. Like, it just looks like it's not anything crazy because there's not more stuff. But it's in the upper end. And these, honestly, should almost be here. but they're not quite. And I guess this should be here too. But yeah, but I like the ride of Cowboy Bebop, and the finale was pretty crazy too. But this wasn't really tugging on my heartstrings for real. It's just more so just a nice little ride, nice little adventure. Oh, bro, I just seen this. Anyways, um, I actually have not seen Cyberpunk because people say that the wet ending is sad, so that makes me not hesitant to watch it. But I'm not too jumpy to watch it. This shit's peak, bro. Is it better than Bungu? Yeah, it might just be. Look, it's around to pick up girls in a dungeon. Strange name. Most would think it's a harem. I wish I had watched it recently so I can do a video on it because I'd have more to say. But it's been so long that I really can't. But I will say this is a great example of the weakest becoming, or the weak becoming the strong, right? And even the boy becoming the man. Because in the story, he starts off weak. He's not very reliable, but he's doing his very best. And then, but he still has like that Deku-itis where, you know he's a good guy, but his personality almost gets annoying to an extent that you're like, bro, I know you want to become strong. I know you want to change. I know you want to do all this, and I know you feel weak and helpless. But stop crying about it. Stop being a bitch. But the moment that you start to get fed up with his character is also the moment that he starts to actually like change, like, for the better, not for like the worse, for the better. And you actually approve the change. Like the moment you're like, dang, this guy isn't as reliable as you once thought, he starts to become even more reliable. And I'm just like, these guys really actually cooked with this. So he starts to get like mad respect from you, not even just from the cast, but from you as a person watching. And he goes through like so much crazy stuff. You're just like, this guy is him. This guy, he's more than all right. He's more improved himself to be like a true hero. So there was really good signs of it in the first season that really made me enjoy it and watch with my siblings. And then in the second one, you start to see some cracks in that visage of him being like this amazing hero. But then he really brings it back and cements it. Anyways, I don't know if there's exactly those seasons, but it was something in that order. Darker Than Black. Honestly, really enjoyed this. It's one of those anime that the sequel happened before, so it can be really confusing at times. So I don't know if I can even put it in great, but I did enjoy the story. It had really good action. But as far as emotional beats, it didn't really resonate with me too much. Like, honestly, what is it starting to look like? It's just the things I can remember and the things I low-key can't. But I feel like your ability to remember things, not to say I can't remember Berserk, that'd be inaccurate to say, but it's almost like your ability to remember things and tell someone the story is a reflection of you watching it. And I would say that it just wasn't quite there for me, even though it was good. Like, and even probably it would have been great if I probably watched it in the reverse order because it was a little bit confusing. But I enjoyed it. What it's about, low-key would have lots of trouble explaining that. So that's probably like a reflection, I should say, though. Data Live, haven't seen that. Death Note. I feel like this is a similar thing to not Berserk, to Attack on Titans. I wanted to see Light win. I know a lot of people say that second season isn't as good as the first season. It was just the first, maybe it would. I think I still put it in peak though, honestly, because I think I still put it in peak because it's Death Note, bro. Like the internal monologues, the big braining, the memes that it inspired, the battle between Light and L, the battle of the minds, all that's still relevant to this day. And I feel like it does deserve a peak. Like even the season 2 ending, the very end, when you see Light have his name written, it is kind of like a kind of hits you. That's one of those shows that you can watch it again and then still, even though you know what's gonna happen, you're on your seat about what's gonna happen because people are making different decisions and planning to try and counter each other. That though you know what's gonna happen, you still think, okay, maybe this will actually work out again because their plan looks like it's working. But of course, it's not the case. Or you think they're gonna fail, but of course they succeed because they had a contingency of some kind. But the one thing that does kind of ruin the ending for absolutely is that just the impossibility of them actually copying the entire Death Note in the time that they said they did by one person. They copied it in a single night with one person who also broke into the bank to retrieve it and then return it, to the point that the person who inspects it nightly with a microscope didn't notice any changes. But the number of names alone, also written in Japanese, that he has to copy. Okay, not even copying. The theory I watched, writing the names alone would have taken longer than the time he had. But copying the names on top of that, even in language that you may not be the best at, would have taken even longer. So I won't throw Death Note down into great just because of that. Because of course at times we have to suspend our disbelief for a show. And if we believe that, you know, in one show normal human beings can like kick through trees, then maybe we can believe in another show that just because it's more grounded and it also has a Death Note that kills people, that maybe this dude can write at supersonic speed, you know? Like, we choose the strangest times to apply real world logic to a show. I guess you think about that or expect it from a show that is still logical. But Death Note is peak. Yeah, I guess I could put that here. Yes. What's this called? Death Parade. What am I at? I'm at an hour. I think I might stop at an hour 30. So Death Parade. Death Parade, I enjoyed it. I think it was good. Like it kind of had that same feeling that I mentioned with Berserk. Like you watch it, you know, you're interested in the stories, but it's kind of that same feeling where nothing is accomplished. It just kind of make you feel negative after watching it, because the outcome for each person, it's either the positive or the negative, right? Either they went to the paradise or they went to the punishment. So it's hard to enjoy something like that when the characters are kind of being, in a sense, thrown away. And a lot of the times they grow on you, and even sometimes, you know, you're rooting for one of them, but in multiple cases you're rooting for both, but there is no happy ending for both of them. And maybe for some people, you know, they see that and they're like, oh, this is deep, like duality, and, you know, sometimes things are black and white, or sometimes things, and that's the point, they show things aren't black and white. And it is strange for beings to measure the making of a person just based off of games, especially ones that put them in high stakes situations. But also, you know, that just doesn't do it for me. So that's why I put it this low. Devilman Crybaby, and this is the same shit, but low key even worse. Like, it's like Berserk, but more freaky, and we actually got an ending, and it's even worse than the Kame got kills, bro. I almost want to put this in mid, but I think I'm gonna just put it in bad. Like that ending alone, nah, bro. Like, not to say it's a bad anime, but just don't finish it. If you watch it and just don't finish it, this might be cool. But it seemed like a pretty fun concept. Like, bro got powers, like do his thing, but then of course the entire world goes crazy, and then the entire world goes kaput, and even the bro in the end got smirked too. So it's like, what was the point of everything? What was the point even watching this? What was the point of all this struggle for nothing to amount from it, right? So pretty much, you feel like I feel like I wasted my time watching it, and all it really leaves you with is a negative taste in your mouth. It's like you eat something delicious, but then like your mouth stinks, right? What was the point? Not to say spicy, because sometimes you eat something and it burns while you eat it. That's fine. But it's like you're eating it, it burns while you ate it. It tasted good, but it burned while you ate it, and then it leaves your mouth stinking and like swollen. So it's just like, damn, like what was the point of even eating that? If that makes sense. I started Degrading, but I haven't finished it. Even by started, I mean I've seen like 2 episodes, maybe 3. JoJo's Diamond is Unbreakable. Not Diamond is Unbreakable. This is this is Diamond is Unbreakable. Right? Am I tweaking? Yeah, it is. Or yeah, Crazy Diamond. Alright. See, this goes in great. I won't put it in peak, because I'm not really a JoJo blazer. I'm thinking every JoJo arc is peak. For me, I'd say part 2 is peak. I really enjoyed part 2. But part 4, I'd say it was great. I enjoyed it a lot. But I would put it below Bleach. I wouldn't say I enjoyed it more than Bleach. I guess that's really how I'm ranking these. Just based off how I enjoyed them. And this is probably so far how I enjoyed them, and then some consideration taken into their endings and emotional impacts and other things. But honestly, yeah, this is probably a pretty fair ranking so far. Or maybe I gotta put Don Mati or maybe above. I watched this one with my roommate, so it kind of does also have a special place. It's one of the few anime we actually were able to get through together. So, in their entirety too. So maybe leave it for now. Alright, what's next? Dr. Stone. Dr. Stone is fire. Love Dr. Stone. Great. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's quite peak because it doesn't have any emotional elements, but it feels like you're playing Minecraft when you're watching it. I don't know if I can explain that feeling to anyone, but Dr. Stone is great. Almost peak. It just have the emotional elements. Maybe we haven't got enough of the storytelling done yet, but yeah, Dr. Stone is great. Dragon Ball GT. Look, bro, I'm gonna keep this a buck with y'all, man. I'm gonna just go ahead and throw all these up here. I ain't gonna waste your time. Bro. I'm not gonna explain it. Y'all just gonna have to deal with it. This, actually, let me just make a. No. Oh wait. Oh, that's what happened. All right, good. Add row above. I can't judge these unbiasedly. Alright, there we go. I think this is probably a better section to have. There we go. See, this makes me feel better, man. This makes me feel way better. I definitely butchered that. Okay, let's continue. Dragon Ball. See, throw right up there, bro. And this order actually does matter. Dragon Ball Z over Bleach, Dragon Ball over Dragon Ball Super and GT. Yes. Durarara. This is honestly peak, bro. I actually really enjoyed Durarara. I feel like it's one of those animes a lot of people have not seen. But I feel like it's an anthology of stories that all culminate and connect. They each show the story, and each character has an independent story almost, and they intersect at a certain point. Not to say they interact with each other, but they intersect as in, imagine a camera watching one person and a camera watching another person. They're both going on their own ways, and they pass. So that happens multiple times until their stories connect. I think that's super good. It's like a super cool wave of writing. I even might move it above Death Note, honestly, in my opinion. I love Durarara. And the openings are fire. It makes me want to go to Ikebukuro. Erased. Ugh. Peak. Loved Erased. It might be more predictable now that you're a little bit older, but I watched it when I was younger. So my brain wasn't as developed or in depth with anime. But I'd say it's peak, bro. That show's crazy. I can't believe bro's girl did that to him. Like, to this day, everyone's upset. Like, no way she didn't wait. No way. But it be like that sometimes. So, but Erased, peak. I thoroughly enjoyed that. Stayed up all night watching it when I did. Don't know these. Fairy. I might get in trouble before I put Fairy Tail, bro. But I honestly think Fairy Tail is a great show. I think Fairy Tail doesn't get enough respect, bro. Like, nah, I think I gotta put it up here, dog. Like, I think I gotta put it up here. I can't unbiasedly judge Fairy Tail, bro. Like, me and my siblings watched this together. We were watching it, like, back-to-back episodes. I know I was talking about that tacky power friendship shit, but that shit means something to me, man. And I think Nux Taku, I don't watch his videos again because a lot of his videos turn into, like, just him being a troll, which is cool, you know, being an internet troll. But what he said about Fairy Tail that connected with me was this. There's lots of animes about family, right? And one of those anime that's famously about family is One Piece. Everyone wants to be the family, like the Straw Hat Pirates, to be on the crew. But the very truth of the matter is that not everyone meets the qualifications to be a Straw Hat, right? The Straw Hat is a very special group of selective individuals. Even Usopp is pretty special himself. He's just kind of a coward and a bitch. But in Fairy Tail, you can literally be the bum ass nigga that never takes a job and still be a far Fairy Tail, bro. And they'll love you, and every member will crash out for you to be able to be there. So I feel like Fairy Tail, I would throw it up in peak. I know it's not peak, but there's so many hype moments too, so many emotional moments. Characters die, characters leave. Like, honestly, like, thinking there's these in peak that are really good, and then while watching them, I had such a great time watching them that it's like that I had such a great time watching them that I think about it fondly when I see them, or they're even made me a little bit more emotional. I think 86 I almost cried during that. Never cried watching anything. Almost cried watching 86. But I think that's because it had a more personal connection for me at the time as well. So that's a unique experience. But these right here, I'll literally think about them or see clips and I'll get chills. Like that's what these mean to me. That these are almost ingrained as a part of me. So I honestly can't put them in here. But this is my list in the day. So I feel like this list should more so be a reflection of what I am and like my taste as opposed to just let me try and objectively rank everything and this is what everyone should agree with. No. This is what I see. This is what I think. And then you can judge me or get to know me based on where I put these. So I haven't seen Fire Force. Fire Force is great, man. Where do we put this? Honestly, I put it right here. I enjoyed Fire Force way more than all of these, for sure. So, maybe even more than Assassination Classroom, honestly. Openings are fire too. No pun intended. Nah, maybe a little bit less. I did watch this with my siblings. Also, the story a lot more cohesive. I also read this for a while too. It's still in its works, so maybe it can move up if they really cook up. I haven't finished reading it, even though I know it is completed, I should say. Freerin. Freerin is peak, bro. Like, no question about it, no doubt. How far up in the peak ladder is it? Honestly, I really enjoyed it, and it's actually really touching. Like, it is kind of a slice of life. And I also do like the idea that I think some people dismissed it because it's the fantasy adventure after the main villain has been defeated. So it's like, why are we here for that? Like, why are we watching this fantasy adventure after the main villain has been defeated? Well, sometimes we forget that life continues after you complete the big quest. And with a lot of these stories, we have characters that do have these extended lifespans, but we never quite get to see what it's like for them when the people that they traveled and partied with leave. And there's also like the romance elements in it where it's not romantic in the sense that two characters falling in love, but it's romantic in the sense that two characters have fallen in love without maybe not without one of them realizing it, but the character was unable to recognize it. Hey, I just said not that, but I guess it is that. Because through becoming more human in her travels, she's able to understand what she'd experienced better. And I think that's a really real experience. That sometimes, not to necessarily you don't value what you have when you have it, but you're able to you need time to be able to digest experiences to really know what they meant to you. And I feel like it's a pretty touching tale. Not just about some super strong wizards, but just about low-key a veteran reliving and rethinking about her days of glory. So that's pretty cool. I put it over Death Note. I guess I just did, huh? We're gonna keep it rocking. Cause they were fighting. I love fighting. They were fighting. I'm gonna take niggas fighting any day of the week, bro. I'm sorry. It's just how it is. You can fight and tell a good story. I'm gonna have that. So these might end up at the bottom the way this is going. Alright, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, Full Metal Alchemist. I watched both for Brotherhood or for this one. I haven't seen the movie, which I know completes the story. I'd say it's good. I enjoyed it. I guess like what falls for the rest of these. I can't quite remember the differences or where it stemmed off. But it was the same same shell. But now, Full Alchemist Brotherhood, that's just peak, bro. Again, niggas were fighting, so it definitely goes above that. But Overdue, yeah. Robungu Stray Dogs, yeah, probably. Might put that there for me. Definitely enjoyed it. Ending was fire, amazing. And again, that good ending goes a long way, honestly. That good ending goes a crazy long way. I like these so much that they almost go here. But I feel like these also deserve to be here. This one might be the one I might have to contend with people the most for. So this one probably is a better candidate for going here. But this is just like my taste when it comes to anime. And then this is like the best example of my taste when it comes to anime. It just so happens I like this more. If that makes sense? I hope so. I've watched a lot of it, or not even a lot, decent bit, but not enough to review. JoJo's Part 5, same thing. But I've seen the freaking edits. Oh, brother. Oh my gosh. I don't even know how to explain this, bruh. Like, I don't know how to explain this at all. Guilty Crown, so confusing, so strange, so weird. I wouldn't bother watching it. I'll just leave it at that. Gurren Lagann, peak. Gurren Lagann. Same thing. Perfect example of what I'm looking for, but a touching, compelling story that's well written. These things aren't necessarily what I'm looking for, but I still utterly enjoyed them just because of how they are. Actually, I might be having some recency bias because I haven't seen these in a while, but I have seen these more recently. So really, these could go up there. Especially off that first watch through. But yeah, I still like how this is right now, so I'm gonna leave it at that. I haven't seen IQ. I've only seen a few episodes. Hajime Ippo, peak. Yeah, this peak's like starting to get pretty big. Now where does it go? Honestly, enjoyed it way more than a lot of these. Like, you don't understand, man. I might have to throw this up in here. I was watching Ippo middle school. Like, always been a big trainer, like big into fitness. I've enjoyed combat sports. Not necessarily watching them, but just the entire concept of, well, fighting as everything is showing. And I'm watching Ippo, I'm getting so hyped that I have to get out of bed and just start doing push-ups and sit-ups and squats. Like, this the stuff that gets your blood flowing, and it's just, I don't know, man. That's why I say I just can't judge these unbiasedly. I feel for these too much for me to, oh wait, let me move this up. I feel for these too much for me to just like sit idly by. I try to explain and justify why I love them. I just do. It's like being a parent and having kids, right? And being a teacher and having students. Like, you can have your favorite student, but your favorite student will never match your favorite student will never match your least favorite child, bro. Like, I'm sorry, that's just how it is. So, at least if you're a good parent. Okay. The Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya. This one, I put it in good. It's just, again, confusing. I haven't finished it. It's confusing, but it's a nice little slice of life. Nothing crazy. But I wouldn't say it's not worth the watch. It's definitely worth the watch. These, I would say not worth the watch. This one for a particular reason that maybe a lot of people don't agree. I know some people think this is peak. I think that tells you a lot about a person. Not to say it's a bad thing. When they say this is peak, it tells you a lot about a person. And like, not like what they're into. Like, I know what kind of man you are. But it's what they're into. So, Melancholy Haruhi Suzumiya. Confusing. It gets to a point where like they're stuck in like a time loop. So that's really weird. But yeah, I'll put it there. Hellsing Ultimate. I think I'd throw that in around these. Honestly, it's a good watch, but nothing crazy. No crazy takeaways. No crazy revolutions. No crazy like things learned. No crazy emotions raised. Except this one, but just that same bad feeling I mentioned. I really feel like that bad feeling that you get from watching something is very. I know I probably sound not weird or dumb. Not dumb. I probably sound not mature, soft. That might be it. Might sound soft. When I say like just watching these fills you with a good feeling, it's so true. Except for maybe this, but that feeling is a little bit different because like he's not a good guy. Same thing here. When they die, you just kind of like you're rooting for them, but it needed to be done type of thing. You know it needed to be done. High School DxD. Peak. I'm playing. Honestly, you're going to hate me for this. Kind of want to put it here. Above Berserk, bro. I'm playing. But if you ignore all the crazy stuff, it's really not a bad show, and it's a really good comedy. Honestly. There's lots of memorable. Probably isn't the craziest or the best thing to say, but there are lots of events that are actually pretty cool, and some of them inspired me for like. I'm gonna just stop talking. Anyway. Alright. Oh, Fully Cooley. Man, this shit, it was fun. Music was cool. Super confusing again. So, I enjoyed the ride, but I have no idea what I wrote. Pause. So, put it right there. Let me see these. Hunter x Hunter. Honestly, the first one was still pretty great, especially with the animation. I enjoyed it a lot. Now I ended in New York, New City. It still was pretty fire. Even the filler that it added, the additional scenes, I enjoyed those as well. But then Hunter x Hunter 2011, bro, or 2014, I can't remember. It's one of the 2010s. Definitely peak. Over Lelouch the Rebellion. Definitely, bro. Without a doubt. Honestly, I might have to lower this because, like, was it really better than these, bro? I might be blinded by it by the time I have with my homie watching them. But this definitely belongs where it is. Yeah. Yeah, it's looking better. It's looking better. Initial D. Shit's so gas, bro. I can't put it in peak, but I can definitely put it in great, man. Over Attack on Titans, nah, I can't do y'all like that. But initial D, some good shit right there, man. Deja Vu, over JJ, over Cowboy Bebop, over all of these. Yeah, I gotta go. I gotta Kobe at my two, bro. Gotta Kobe at my two. Kobe at my one? Nah, I'm tweaking. Alright. Let's keep going. Oh, I'm at. Oh, I'm only at 136. Okay. What else do we got here? Alright, I think I'll stop here at Konosuba. So, actually, let me check this next row. Oh, there's some more I've seen here, so dang, there's some get some heavy hitters past this one. Alright, I'll save some of those heavy hitters for another time. So, I'm gonna end off with Konosuba, like I said. So let's go. JoJo, great. Really enjoyed it. There we go. I like part one more than part four. I'll be for real. GGK. I'll not put it as peak. Definitely great. Really enjoyed it. Love is War. Another great one. Just nice and funny. What is this? Oh, no, I haven't seen that. I know this anime, I haven't seen it yet. It's on my list. Hitman Reborn. I've watched most of it, but not all of it. It's really good. It is really slow at the beginning, hence why I haven't finished it. Yeah, it's probably better. But I said I was gonna stop at Konosuba. Where'd it go? What the heck? Oh, there it is. Okay, so I haven't gotten past it. Kill la Kill. Great. Where did I put it? Not peak. Initial D. Above initial D. Above that. No, not above Assassination Classroom. Honestly, this Hunter x Hunter was really good. It's just it didn't. It was almost. It's pretty similar too. It's almost the exact same. Like it's they're not very different. There's some filler and the animation differences, and this had good animation, or at least good animation, good art direction as well, and the tone was very closer to like the darker tone that Hunter actually has. But Kill la Kill was mostly a comedy until it got really serious at the end, almost like upsettingly serious, especially with the themes of like sexual abuse and all that. But I enjoyed it. It was a good watch. I might honestly have to move it down. Nah, I could leave it here. Over these, yeah, it's not too crazy to me. Alrighty. Finally, Konosuba. Yeah, I'm getting a little sleepy. Konosuba's peak, bro. Like, I don't know what to tell you, man. Over Freeman? Over Durarara? Possibly. Over Freeman? Over Lelouch, the Rebellion? Over Death Note? Am I tweaking? But I just like fun. And this show was fun. Like, lots of these shows are fun, and then they have like compelling stories. I think this one maybe wasn't as fun. This is probably the only one up here. I might be cooked, bro. Like, dang, I might have to just be honest with myself when it comes to that one. Cause, nah, I think it actually is just objectively a really good story. And then, I think it actually is peak. And then it comes up higher because of my own personal attachment. So maybe it'd be somewhere else if not for my personal attachment. Because it doesn't have fun like the ones I mentioned. But it did get me hyped. Fun or hype? So lots of fun, lots of hype, and lots of emotional elements too. So if there's more fun, because a lot of this is just emotional, a lot of this is emotional, a lot of this is emotional, a lot of this is emotional. Not as much hype. So the fun element can overcome that, because it is a little bit emotional too, but not like crazy in depth like these are. But that fun element can really overcome. And then towards here is just enough emotion for me. And here, enough hype, emotion, strategy, thinking, big brain, suspense, all that. And lots of fun, emotion, hype, combination. Yeah. Because when I'm looking at these, I'm not necessarily thinking about the anime itself, right? I'm thinking of my experience while watching the anime and trying to rank that, if that makes sense. So I know that can also, I'm trying to recall myself watching it. So I'm not looking at first person image, I'm like a third person image. And my reactions at the time, how audible I was, what it made me do upon the twist that came up. And honestly, like I mentioned, for some of them, I honestly just don't remember. And here, just don't remember, or remember being negative. And then for some of them, I just enjoyed it, but it just wasn't anything crazy. Like, I watched it, digested it, shit it out. But some of these, when you start to get up here, I remember like exact feelings that I had while watching it. And then of course some are good enough to where they bypass those feelings that you might have. But not to the point that they change what you're looking for in a show. Anyways, we keep going. Oh wait, no, that was my last one, like I said. But yeah, let me know anything about my list. Of course, I know it's cooked. Maybe I'm a little bit sleepy. I might have to readjust some of these. Or maybe I should only rank things I've seen recently. That'd probably be more fair. But I think for the most part, this is, or maybe I should just have one tier and just order everything off of that. Maybe even just get rid of these labels and just order things. And then whatever pops up, you know? Because at the end of the day, when it comes to these anime, I still watched and finished them. So at some point, in some form or fashion, they were watchable. So not to say like dog shit means never watch it. I still think watching this dog shit is probably better than like a lot of shows you could watch from a lot of other mediums. So I don't know. Maybe this could be someone's cup of tea too. No clue. But damn, I'm gonna end this here. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. And comment what you thought your tier lists are, where you have places, what spots that I absolutely just have a bad, horrendous take. But that's about all. So y'all take it easy.